Good evening, I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. We still have a little bit of spotty rain lingering out there tonight. That will taper off over the next couple of hours. Then we'll see some patchy fog late tonight into early tomorrow morning as our temperatures fall into the mid-70s. We're still stuck in kind of the same weather pattern we've been in for most of this week, which is highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, hot, kind of humid, and that chance of rain popping up each afternoon. But there is a change on the way. By the middle of next week, it looks like we'll get a break from the rain chances, the heat, and the humidity too. But for right now, we're still stuck with all three. We are tracking some spotty rain across the tri-state right now. We had more of this rain earlier in the afternoon. These showers and storms kind of started primarily in western Kentucky and areas mainly north of I-64 in Indiana. Then as this whole thing has slowly drifted to the north, a lot of those have kind of rained themselves out. And now we're down to just a couple of thunderstorms kind of on the far western and eastern edges of the tri-state. So we've got one thunderstorm in Posey County into White County and then stretching up into Wayne County, kind of three little thunderstorms there. And then we've got a shower in Perry County that was producing some lightning, but I don't see any in it right now. So it may be weakening out at this point if it's starting to lose its lightning. The remaining rain should taper off over the next couple of hours. I think by about midnight we'll be completely dry across the tri-state, and then we'll stay dry through the rest of the night and into Friday morning. Now, I wouldn't totally rule out a stray shower popping up Friday morning, but I think we'll probably stay dry until about midday. Then, a lot like what we saw happen today, this spotty rain will start to pop up somewhere in the tri-state around the middle of the day Friday and then continue through the afternoon and evening. Not everyone is going to see that rain, very scattered, but just a few showers and thunderstorms possible through Friday afternoon and into Friday evening. Then that rain tapers off Friday night, and Saturday also starts out mainly dry. Now, I will say the general trend over the past few hours here as we've gotten new data in has been pushing for drier weather during the day on Saturday, but more rain Saturday night. So this is a change. It does seem like we could still see some spotty showers popping up as we go through Saturday afternoon and evening. But the latest data here is really pushing toward a mostly dry skies throughout the day on Saturday, and then showing these showers and storms pushing in from the north overnight Saturday night. Now, I don't know that it would be quite this impressive, but still the newer data coming in now, these latest model runs seem to be pushing more and more toward this chance of rain Saturday evening into the overnight hours Saturday night. So we may end up being mostly dry during the day on Saturday, then that rain will roll through overnight Saturday night, and we dry things out again by Sunday morning. Looking at our thunderstorm chances now, we are outlooked for general thunderstorms today and tomorrow. Saturday, though, notice we're all outlooked in this green shade here. That's a level 1 risk for an isolated strong to severe storm, primarily for a damaging wind threat. When you look more specifically at the flooding threat, we've been outlooked in a level 1 risk for flooding today and again tomorrow, and then that flooding threat pushes more to the east on Saturday. So I would say the way to look at it is this. This evening, we've still got a couple more hours here where you could have an isolated thunderstorm. We've got another chance of thunderstorms Friday afternoon, and then again Saturday, mainly Saturday night. Every time these thunderstorms pop up, any of them would have the potential to really kick into gear here and produce some very heavy rain that could lead to isolated flooding, along with an isolated damaging wind gust. But I would say overall, most of the storms we see over the next couple of days are going to be just general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. Now, if you're caught outside in one of those, especially if it's producing lightning, that can still be very dangerous. But overall, our severe weather threat looks very low. But if we were to get any strong or severe storms, the concern would be they don't seem to be moving very fast. And so as they start to put down some heavy rain, it may rain over one location for a while, and then that location just in that one spot could end up with some flooding. and then there is that potential for some damaging winds. Part of why you see the flooding threat mainly focused on today and tomorrow, and the wind threat focused mainly on Saturday, is it does seem like those storms that would move through Saturday night would be moving a little faster. The storms we are tracking out there right now and that we're looking at for Friday are these pop-up storms that don't really have anything forcing them. There's nothing pushing them. And so they just kind of pop up and hang out where they are until they run out of energy. They just kind of rain themselves out all in one location. They don't move very far. And that's where you get concerned about flooding. Saturday, we're going to have a frontal system just to our north. It's never actually going to pass through the tri-state, so that's why we don't really see any big temperature changes, but you will have something actually pushing those thunderstorms. And so they may be moving a little faster, which would lessen your rain threat because the rain would move on to a new location. But as those storms are pushing through, you've got a better chance that some of them could maybe have some gusty winds with them. So that's kind of the breakdown of our storm chances over the next couple of days. But again, overall, while we will see scattered thunderstorms, our risk of severe weather is pretty low. Let's check in on the comments here. Good evening, Janet, Maddie, Cheyenne. Jeff says it's storming in Savah and still raining. Yeah, I mentioned that thunderstorm in Posey County there. Hello, Denise, Suzanne, Sabrina, and Bill and John. Appreciate you guys tuning in. So yeah, I do want to just emphasize that there is that chance for scattered storms, so don't be shocked if you get rain or even a few rumbles of thunder, but our chances of severe weather still seem pretty low. As for our temperatures, we topped out in the upper 80s to low 90s this afternoon. With that scattered rain, we really had a wide range of temperatures this afternoon. We all kind of heated up, but then as different people got rain, it cooled off just a few locations. So our temperatures were really kind of sporadic. Now that the sun has set, we're kind of evening out again. Most of us are sitting in the upper 70s to low 80s now. It's 80 degrees even right now in Evansville, 81 in Owensboro. We're probably going to fall back into the low to mid 70s by the end of the night. So it still stays very mild and muggy, kind of warm and muggy through the entire night tonight. I mentioned that we've still got just a couple of spotty thunderstorms still out there right now. Those will taper off over the next couple of hours. I think by midnight we'll all be completely dry. But because it is humid, there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now, and our temperatures are going to stay on the warmer side. I do think we could see some patchy fog developing late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow, very similar to today. Partly sunny, high temperatures in the upper 80s to right around 90, and you do have that chance for some scattered thunderstorms popping up mainly in the afternoon, very similar to the rain that we saw across the tri-state today. Here's the 7-day forecast, just kind of a summary here. We've got that chance for scattered pop-up storms Friday afternoon. Saturday, again, that rain is trending mainly late. You may catch a stray shower or storm Saturday afternoon and evening, but really the models seem to be pushing more for this overnight rain and thunderstorm chance on Saturday. Sunday and Monday look mainly dry, but I still think with that kind of heat and humidity, you could catch a stray shower popping up in the afternoon. Tuesday is when the cold front's expected to move through. I don't think it'll bring us any kind of a major rain or thunderstorm risk here. It looks like it's going to be a pretty weak, fairly dry front, but scattered showers and a few thunderstorms certainly possible as that cold front is pushing through the tri-state. Then you really see the impact of that cold front as it ushers in cooler, drier, more comfortable air into the tri-state. So it's going to be hot and humid through the next 5 days or so, with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s, and the heat index values probably in the upper 90s most of these days. By Wednesday and Thursday of next week, though, the heat and humidity both drop. Notice highs only reach the low to mid 80s. That's below average for this time of year, cooler than you would expect for mid-July. And with that lesser humidity, we also see those rain chances going away. So it's going to be mostly sunny and dry. Looks like really nice weather for the middle of next week. We're getting some more comments here, so let me check in. Jeff says it's been raining there in Savah for an hour. This is what I'm talking about, where those thunderstorms just don't really move on. They pop up and then they just linger where they are basically until they run out of juice. And so that's where we're concerned about this very isolated flooding threat. Much of the tri-state is dry and has been dry all day long. Meanwhile, in Savah, Jeff Miller has more than 2 inches of rain now. So that's where you have this just very isolated flooding threat across the tri-state. Thank you for those reports, Jeff. Good evening, Suzanne. Yes, Zach is correct that we are not expecting any widespread severe weather. And Suzanne is wishing away the heat and humidity. I do have good news for you middle of next week. Like I said, it's still going to be warm. I mean, it's July. Low 80s is about as good as you can possibly ask for in mid-July, but we will see a little relief from the heat and the humidity. I do want to put this on rewind for a minute and talk about a little bit of weather history. This is an interesting one here, July 16th, 2004. So we're going back to 2004 today. About 180 homes were damaged or at least in some way affected by flash flooding. Happened in the middle of the night in southwest Indiana primarily. Severe flash flooding of Locust Creek inundated, so completely flooded a mobile home park near McCutcheonville. More than 150 vehicles were submerged to a depth of at least 4 feet. That is some very deep water, some serious water damage to those vehicles. 26 homes were evacuated by boat, so this was very intense and rapid flooding. Downtown Evansville had an unofficial rainfall total of just under 5 inches of rain just in that one night. So some serious flooding on this date in 2004, especially in Evansville. The damage for that flooding, by the way, was estimated at nearly $1 million. And that's, you know, in 2004, when $1 million went a lot further than it does now. So that's kind of a look back at what we were tracking on this date in 2004. I always think it's interesting to mention it if something of note happened on this date in weather history. Here are our temperatures so far this month. We started out with that heat wave at the beginning of the month, highs in the mid-90s, heat index well into the triple digits. You'll remember we were under heat advisories for like an entire week there. Then that heat wave broke over Independence Day weekend as we got a little scattered rain. It has ramped that heat back up here recently, though. We've hit the 90s the past 3 days, and we've also got a little bit of rain here recently. I haven't updated it with this just yet. Earlier this evening, Evansville did get a very brief passover of a shower, just for a second. We got 1/100th of an inch of rain at the Evansville Regional Airport, so I need to bring this up to 0.62 inches of rain now, but still we're running a shortfall both for the month and for the year. That shortfall is really much better than it used to be, right? Many of you who have been following along here will remember we had that drought, widespread drought earlier this spring. We were at times running a precip deficit of about 7.5 inches of rain. We had only received about 2/3 of our normal rainfall up to that point. Then May and June came along, and you know, typically spring is kind of the rainy season. That was not the case this year, but we got into May and June and got some really beneficial rain. Then at the end of June, we had that heavy rain and flooding event, and that's what really caught us up. Our average temperature is still running about 2 degrees warmer than normal. Some of that is from the heat wave at the beginning of the month. Some of it is that this week, while our temperatures have been near to maybe just slightly above average, our overnight lows have been very warm, and that also impacts your average temperature. The drought monitor updates every Thursday, so this is a new look at the drought monitor. Really nothing of note there, though, because we are finally out of the drought monitor, right? It's been a couple weeks now that we have been completely out of the drought, a big change from what we were seeing earlier this spring. There are other parts of the country still struggling, especially the mid-Atlantic, stretching from about D.C. Down into the Carolinas. They're still dealing with a lot of drought. Drought's still a problem across most of the state of Florida. And then out in the Rockies, stretching down into the Four Corners region, and then even over into Oklahoma and the panhandle of Texas, there still issues with a lot of drought out that way. Here's another look at our temperature trend. Again, our highs hovering right around where they should be this time of year. Our lows running a little bit warmer than average for the rest of this week and into the start of next week. Then that cold front moves through on Tuesday and we see our temperatures dropping a bit with highs only in the low to mid 80s Wednesday and Thursday of next week. The extended outlook for next weekend does show wetter weather off to our east, but just kind of typical, maybe a chance of rain, but nothing to get excited about here at home. And it does show that heat is still mainly down to our south, but it starts to creep in just a little bit. That heat starts to move our way. So that cool down that we're going to see Wednesday and Thursday of next week, it probably won't last very long. That more typical summertime heat will gradually start to creep in over next weekend. All right. Good evening, Carolyn, Suzanne. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm not seeing any more questions about the forecast, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I will have another look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 10, and Robinson Miles is hard at work on all of our latest news headlines. So for those of you who are still going to be up here at 10 o'clock, I hope you will join us for 14 News at 10. We've got a lot of good stuff lined up for you there. And for those of you headed to bed, have a good rest of your night.